Yep.
Thank you. All right, the first question we have today, let me see if these are in order. By the numbers, it looks like they're good test questions because they are in order and they look like they're way deep in the homework. So chances are they're good questions, unless they're stupid, Philadelphia lawyer questions. 6.1, 33 in the book. Number 17 online. 33 in the book, number 17 online. Yes, this is a test question. Now, you're probably talking one test question because remember, the evaluate / determine questions, which means plug and chug. You're probably talking about, if there was 20 questions on the test, you're talking 2 questions, one of each. So I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that right now. The evaluate and determine. This one is an evaluate. X is equal to negative 15 and negative 8x minus 9. Now, a lot of people, they send this question and then they figure out how to do it and then they say, well, don't do it. Well, I guarantee you there's somebody in here that don't mind me doing it, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. Negative 15, plug that in right there. And what's negative 8 times negative 15? Dang old 120. And 120 minus 9 is dang old 111. Y'all check my math.
Indeed. Yeah, that's all right.
What?
That's right.
Of course it is. I'm just kidding. That's what Barney Fife does. 111. And if you don't know who Barney Fife is, then that's your problem. You need to, it's your parents' fault. All right, so that's a good one question.
From the Andy Griffin Show.
There you go. One of my favorites. I got the trivia games, the trivia books. I've got trading. Somebody, one of my students.
What show?
Was from a old town. What? What is it?
What show? We never heard of it.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, well, I don't believe that because it's been on the air since 1961. So I doubt very seriously there's anybody that haven't seen it. So
isn't Andy Griffin
they might have not have watched it, but they've seen it. Anyway, I've got the trivia games, the trivia books. I was telling you, a student that their parents owned an old store, found a couple of boxes of the old trading cards that was kind of like baseball cards and with a stick of bubble gum in it. And he got both of those boxes for me and I got them in my office and I haven't even opened them. But anyway, I think those are neat. Anyway, that's a test question.
Be cool if they'd be worth something.
I know, but I like them because I collect Andy Griffith stuff. All right, so let's do another one. 6.139/20. First of all, is it a test question? Yes, it could be one of those test questions, one of the 2 that I was telling you about. In fact, I like this one better. Evaluate. I'll just do it on the same page right here. Evaluate. X squared minus 4x plus 7. X is equal to 5. Parentheses squared minus 4 times parentheses plus 7. I'm 53 years old. I got several degrees. I've got most of the teeth in my head, and I got running water and I still use these parentheses. So if I've got all that, and you don't have any of that, especially the degrees, then you should be using these parentheses. But there's always somebody out there that's smart as a NASA engineer that don't need them. But when you have a fraction or a negative here, you're gonna need them. So 5 squared is 25, and minus 20 plus 7, and 25 minus 20. Hold on just a second. Sometimes I have to throw things at my cats when they're doing things they're not supposed to. 25 minus 20 is 5, plus 7 is what? What's 5 plus 7? 12?
Indeed.
I think it is, isn't it?
Yep.
So your answer is 12. Notice I do it step by step. I don't try to do it in my head, guys. I guarantee you there's somebody out there, one of the guys in the class, that tries to do it in their head. So we got 12. Oh my, I got it right. Another good test question. Let's see if we go to one, see if we get some equations going here. Determine the other type of evaluate. Determine means plug and chug. Plug and chug. And if you don't remember, when I started the whole algebra section, I told y'all that whenever you see the word evaluate and determine, you're going to plug and chug. So where's my equation? 7x minus 5 is equal to 6x. Oops, sorry. 6x plus 56. Rewrite it with my handy dandy parentheses. And plug in what?
Chug.
Plug in what? What number? I know plug and chug, correct, but what number?
Oh, if you put negative, whatever. I'm looking at mine, so whatever number that was
61.
in there.
Yeah, 61. All right, 7 times 61 is 427, isn't it? Minus 5 is equal to 6 times 61 is 366.
Yeah.
I need somebody to check me since I don't have a calculator. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Okay. And 427 minus 5, 7 minus 5 is 422. And let's see, 6 plus 6 is 12, bring you 1. 6 plus 6 is what? 12. Bring you 1. Look there. It's a miracle. So yes, it is a solution.
Cool beans.
And you should feel good about yourself. It's either going to be Bravo or Delta. So, which one has a true statement? Looks like Delta. Because Bravo says false
it's a false statement. Yeah.
And you never go with a false statement. Never. So, yes, because it's a true statement. And that's a good test question. But again, you're only talking about 2 questions. Well, the first 2 was evaluate. This one was determine.
Yeah.
So you got 2 questions that you can study for the test because those 2 questions will be on there. Delete. And this is 51/23. This might be a solve equation. And that will lead into today's class. No, not really. It's a one-step equation, but it'll do. This one says solve. Solve means it's an equation. That means it has an equal sign. That means you're going to get y by itself, or the variable by itself. So d minus 1 is equal to negative 10. Now, this one already has d by itself. Here's d. It's got a 1 in front of it. So you don't have to do anything, but you got to get rid of that negative 1. So throw it across the river. And when you throw it across the river, it becomes a what? Positive 1. So D is equal to, you owe $10. This is my outcome. I owe somebody $10. I have $1 in my pocket. So what's the outcome of owing somebody $10 and giving them $1?
You still owe them $9.
You still owe them $9. That's your answer. Now, of course, to check it, you plug that back in here. Negative 9 minus 10. I'm sorry. Negative 9 minus 1 is equal to negative 10. You owe somebody $9. You owe somebody $1. You owe them $10. And it checks. So that is your answer. Now, I'm not going to put, I probably will not put too many one-step equations on there because that's not what I'm going to test you on. I'm going to test you on multi-step. And we did several of those Monday. All right, so that's the homework questions, and that will lead into today's. I want to finish up 6.1. Let's type in negative, what did I get? Negative 9? And that's correct. All right, now let's use this question right here to jump into today's lesson. Oh, somebody sent another question. Good.
Yeah, I sent one. I got one wrong on the homework.
6160/26. You're supposed to ask me, are we supposed to send homework questions in? That's what you're supposed to do. 6160/26.
Okay, I'll do that next time.
Why don't you ask this? Why don't you go, how are we supposed to ask questions? That's what you ought to say. Okay, somebody's also sent a chat. Oh, Miss Roberts.
Wait, we can ask questions?
Yeah, we can ask questions. Oh. Okay, Miss Roberts, you're here. Glad that you're here, Miss Roberts, but I already got you on the roll. Is Miss Roberts here? I don't see her.
Hmm.
Let me call her up right quick because she said that she's not in.
She said she missed the call.
Roberts. Dia. Okay, call her. Is it calling her? Yeah, it's calling her. Okay, it says bad network here. I don't know. Hopefully I'm not cracking up. Okay, Miss Grendel sent this question. This is 660/26. And it's a good question. This is the kind of test questions I'll give you. This is the kind of test questions you'll get out of 6.1. So if I give you 10 questions out of 6.1, 8 of them is going to look like this. Okay, 5y minus 4 is equal to 10y.
Someone's
plus
mic's all
31.
weird.
I'm sorry, what?
Someone's mic's all messed up.
Oh, I didn't hear it. Miss Roberts is here. Glad Miss Roberts could make it. Nobody else has come in, but I'm still looking for Wilson and those other 2 people. But anyway. Yeah, they're not here. Cummins and Elrod. Okay, so where's your smallest bucket?
5y.
5y. So I'm going to take it across the river, and it becomes negative 5y. Negative 4 is equal to 5y plus 31 Take 31 across the river. And negative 35 is equal to 5y. Divide by 5. Y is equal to negative 7. Well, this is wrong because Jody is on the right side of the seesaw.
Mhm.
I bet the more y'all think about that, the more y'all think, why did my teacher tell me to put the variable on the left? Well, I don't know. I can understand it the first time you see algebra, but once you do it, you need to be explained that it really doesn't matter which side the y is on. Y is equal to negative 7 is the same as y is equal to negative 7. Doesn't matter.
I think what I was trying to do is I was trying to bring the 4 over instead because it was the smaller bucket to 31, and you're not supposed to do that at that point.
Okay, no, because the only thing, the bucket only is only pertains, I don't know how to spell pertains, only pertains to the variable.
Okay. Yeah,
Remember
so
me
that's
telling you you could care less about the numbers? Okay.
right.
The variable is the kite. And I have to say that because people don't know what I'm saying. That's the kite. This is the tail. Okay. So you have to, the kite is the only thing. What's the tail going to do? The tail's going to follow. You just worry about the kite. You worry about this guy.
Okay.
Remember, what's the main objective of algebra? To get the what by itself?
The
To
variable.
get the variable. It doesn't say worry about the numbers. It says get the variable by itself. So when you're talking about the bucket, the smallest bucket, you're talking about the variable.
Okay.
You let the numbers fall where they fall.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
But that's a good question because that's a test question. So you're going to get 8 of these. For 10 questions out of 6.1, you're going to get 8 of these and 2 of the other. Now, we can use that question to jump into the last part of what I wanted to teach y'all about fractions, decimals, and solutions. Fractions, decimals, and solutions. All right. Oh, let's check the answer and make sure we got it right. I got negative 7, so negative 7, and we feel good about ourselves. All right. Make sure she didn't slip another one in here on me. She didn't. Okay.
No.
All right. So with that being said, how do you clear a fraction? Well, you multiply through by the common denominator. That's how you clear fractions. How do you clear decimals? You multiply through by the furthest, and I know that furthest is probably not a word, decimal point. What is solutions? Well, 90% of the time, you're going to get a variable equal to a number. And that's usually, they're going to be x is equal to 5, x is equal to 12, x is equal to negative 6. Those are 90% of the time, you're going to get what's called a solution. And that is a solution. But sometimes, if you do the math right, you're going to get 5 is equal to 5. That is a true statement. That's what we call an identity. Okay, it's called an identity, and the answer is all real numbers. And then sometimes you're going to get a contradiction. 6 is equal to 101. That is called a contradiction. Contradiction. And a contradiction means no solution. Now you need to write down no solution, because a 0 with a hash through it is called no solution. It used to be, but now with the computer age, with the last 20 years, this is being phased out, and people are using a big N for no solution. Okay? So 90% of the time, you're going to get a solution, x is equal to a number. But sometimes, if you do the algebra correctly, you're going to get something that's true.
In my high school, we used SN instead of N,
Okay.
or the 0.
SN, I don't know why they use SN, but SN stands for serial number. What?
I mean, NS for no
Okay,
solution.
now that makes more sense. Non-solution set. That's what that means. But anyway, that's fine. You can use that too. But usually the directions will tell you what to type in for no solution. But this is a true statement. 5 is equal to 5. X is equal to X. 21 is equal to 21. X plus 2 is equal to X plus 2. Those are all true statements. When you get a true statement, that means the answer is all real numbers. If you get something that is untrue, 6 will never equal 101. -3 does not equal 1. If you get something wrong, untrue, and you have done the math correctly, that is called a contradiction, and that means no solution. All right, so let's do some examples of these. Let's do an example of fractions. 1/2 times x minus 3 plus 1/3 is equal to 1/6 times x minus 7. Now this is an example of, we're going to do a couple of these because I want to make sure out of anything that you can work with fractions and not have to worry about it. All right, now you could distribute the 1/2 and the 1/6, and instead of 3 fractions, you would have probably 6 or 7 fractions. Those of you that like, chains and whips, you knock yourself out. But usually when you run into fractions, the first thing you want to do is clear them. What is the common denominator of 2, 3, and 6?
6.
Thank you. So I'm going to multiply through by 6/1. Now I'm going to do a baby step for you. I'm going to put 6/1 here. I'm going to put 6/1 here. And I'm going to put 6/1 here. And I'm going to draw in black the original 1/2 times x minus 3 plus 1/3 is equal to 1/6 times x minus 7. Now I'm going to get my red pen out because something's going to happen. And what's going to happen to the 6/2? That means I want y'all to tell me what's going to happen.
It becomes a 3.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the interaction. Mr.
You're
Wendell,
welcome.
you letting me down. What's 6 divided by 3?
2.
And what's 6 divided by 6? And now
1.
I'll put my x minus 3 plus 2 is equal to x minus 7. Now you can finish it. Finish it. Now you got a regular equation. Go ahead and finish it. I guarantee you some of y'all have never, they graduated 12 years of school and you've never seen that before. Sad. That could be your teacher's fault or it could be your fault. Oh, and if you come up to me 20 years from now and I'm still using my parentheses, guess what else I'm using? When I do the distributive law, what else do I use? I use these arrows right here. And to this day, I still use them. Now, I realize you don't have to put that 1 in front of that X, but I'm doing it for a reason, to show you the distributive law. Anybody, we just use the distributive law, and what usually comes after the distributive law? Combining like terms, Hubert. That's right, class. Glad y'all listened Monday. Oh my gosh, I actually colored inside the lines for the first time. My sister was the one that she was the white sheep. She was the one that colored inside the lines. Dr. Seuss, poor Dr. Seuss. 3x. You owe somebody $9. You have 2 in your pocket. What's the outcome?
-7.
-7.
You still owe them 7. Here's the smallest bucket.
The answer makes sense.
Say again.
I don't think the answer makes sense.
Well, let's see. I haven't finished yet. Give me time. All right, I'm gonna go to the next page. All the things I do for y'all. It's just not appreciated.
Oh, it's appreciated.
Oh, it is. I got one person. Thank you. 2x minus 7 is equal to what? -7. Take 7 across the river. 2x is equal to 0. Divide by 2. X is equal to 0. Now, Mr. Pack said it didn't make sense. Well, he probably got to here and he thought it didn't make sense. The reason that is, or the reason a student would think that, is because the inverse of this is undefined, and that's why some students think that. And I'm going to go over here. We're going to do that in red, and we're going to go any number divided by 0 is equal to undefined. And that may be what you were thinking of. And that would be, the answer would be undefined. If you got 0x equals 9 and you divided by 0, then the answer would be undefined. You couldn't do that. But I doubt very seriously that you would ever run into a problem like this, because I would not put one on the test like that. But this is 0. So let's check it. Let's check the original problem up here. I'm not going to do the fractions unless y'all just like pain and suffering. I'm not going to do that. What's 0 minus 3?
-3.
And what's -3 times 3?
-6.
-9 last time I checked.
I mean 9.
That's all right. And what's -9 plus 2?
-7.
All right, so let's put -7 in our memory. Now, what's 0 minus 7?
-7.
Times 1? -7 is equal to -7, so 0 is correct.
Huh.
And like I said, I guarantee you there's people that have graduated 12 years of school and they didn't know that they could clear the fractions and make it into a problem that's real simple. So let's do another one.
Yes,
Then we'll
please.
do a decimal. See how blessed y'all are? Gosh. Just don't realize. All right, let's do 1/3 times x minus 2 plus 1/7 is equal to 1/2 times x minus 3 plus 1/4. I'm getting there. Hold on. There you go. All right, do that one. So we got to get a common denominator. I'm just going to tell you what direction to go in. Oh, I have no idea. There's too many numbers there. So I'm going to go back to my 5.1 and I'm going to put a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 7 here. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, and sometimes 13. 2, 1, 3, 2, 7. 2, 1, 3, 1, 7. 3, 1, 1, 1, 7. 7, 1, 1, 1, 1. So this is 4 times 21, which is 84. So I'm going to multiply through by 84, but somebody needs to check my math. 84 over 1. Multiply through by 84 over 1.
Yep, that's correct.
Okay.
At least that's what I got to. So.
Good. Now I'm going to go to the next page, and I'm just going to leave this up at the top so I can write the problem out. Well, y'all just have to bear with me a minute. Y'all working. There we go. All right, there is, and we've said the 84. So I'm going to write 84 over 1. 84 over 1. 84 over 1. And 84 over 1. And then I'm going to rewrite my equation. 1/3 x minus 2 plus 1/7 is equal to 1/2 times x minus 3 plus 1/4.
Gmail.
And if you can't do 84 divided by 3, then you pull up your handy dandy. 84 is 2 times 21. Okay, I messed up somewhere. Hold on. 2 will go into 2 one time. 2. Four times 21 is 84, is it not? Oh, I'm sorry. Take the 3 out. I was thinking in reverse. And what's 4 times 7? 28 times.
28.
So 28 times 1 is 28.
28.
So 28 goes in front of here. Plus, pull out the handy dandy 84 divided by 7. What's 4 times 3? 12.
12.
84 divided by 2, cover up one of the 2's. You get 6 times 7, which is 42.
Hmm.
84 divided by 4 is 21. And now you have a basic whole number problem. If I had been taught this way when I was in junior high school, I probably would not be teaching y'all today. Because the only reason I'm teaching is because I had a terrible, terrible experience with algebra teacher in junior high school. And that's why I became a teacher. So if I had been shown stuff like this in junior high school, I probably would not be teaching. I'd probably be doing something else. Dang old quantum mechanics. Dang old choices made. 28x. And then y'all would have a jerk for a teacher. Minus 56. No comments. Plus 12 is equal to, I already have jerk as a teacher. Okay, whatever. 42x is equal to 126 plus, oops, I'm sorry, minus 126 plus 21. Oh, we got to combine like terms. We got 2 to do.
The horror.
So we know that that's going to come out negative because you owe more than you got. That's what my paycheck looks like. Okay, so we know it's going to be negative, and then what's 56 minus 12? 42, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or not 42, 44.
44.
God, why are you doing that?
And 42x, and we know this is going to be negative because the negative is bigger, so that's going to be negative. And what is that? 105?
Yes.
Which one's a smaller bucket? 128 comes across, 28 comes across the river. Negative 44 is equal to, we know the answer is going to be positive. So 12 minus 8 is 4. And 3 minus 2 is 1. Take the 105 across the river. You owe $44 and you have 105 in your pocket. So the answer is going to come out to be positive because you got more in your pocket than you owe. And 105, let's see, that'd be 1. And 10 minus 4 is what, 6? Somebody help me out there. Equal 14x. And divide by 14, so 61 over 14 should be your answer. Y'all check me. That is an example of clearing the fractions. And that's why you have to know 5.1 to do the fractions. Don't you love it when a plan comes together? Now, let's do a decimal problem. We got like 10 minutes, right? 0.1x plus 0.6 is equal to 3 times x minus 4. All right, I got decimals in here. So what do? Quit. We change these. We're going to multiply through by 10 because this is the 10th place. And
Can you
this
go
is
back
the
for a
what?
second?
I'm sorry, what?
Could you go back for a second?
Okay.
I got a decimal for that one. The last one we just did.
Well, yeah, 61 divided by 14 would be a decimal.
Oh, okay. I see what you. Never mind.
But why did I leave it as a fraction? What is the cardinal rule of science and math? If you start with a fraction, you what?
You end with 1.
You end with a fraction. If you start with a decimal, you end with a decimal. That is the basic rule of science and math. Start with, end with.
Okay.
That's why I didn't change it into a decimal. Now you can do that if the directions tell you to do that, but I just leave it like this, and y'all can utilize your calculator. Mr. Pack, did you see what you needed a question on?
Yeah.
Okay, which you got a question?
I was looking at like how you got like 126 and 56 and all that, and I was looking at my math and I just figured out that like I just did my math wrong.
Yeah,
I was
28 times 2 is 56. There's a negative there. And 42 times 3 is 126. And I think Miss Grindle confirmed those two while we were doing them.
Yeah.
Okay. Leave it on there for a few more seconds. Any other questions from some of you people that don't talk? Hell no, they ain't gonna say nothing. All right. So I looked at the whole problem and I see the 10th and I see the 10th. So that means I'm going to multiply by what?
10.
10. And that's going to move this number, this decimal right there, and this decimal right there, and this decimal, put a 0 there. So we're going to get 1x plus 6 is equal to 30 times x minus 4. Now that is not difficult. One x plus 6 is equal to 30x minus 120. Smallest bucket is the 1x. Take it across the river and it becomes negative 1x. If you want to combine two steps, do it. You don't have to. 126 is equal to 29x. Now, somebody take your handy dandy calculator and give me a decimal to 2 or 3 places.
4.34.
I'm sorry, what?
4.34.
And that is your answer.
So how many decimal places would you normally go if you were answering this like on the homework?
Well, usually as a general rule, if you are starting at the 10th, you go to the 100th. If you start at the 100th, you go to the 1000th. You always want to carry it one more than what you started with, because the general rule says If you start with a tenth, you put your answer in as a tenth. If it starts with 100, you put your answer in as 100. So you at least want to carry it to the next decimal place so you can round this to the tenth if you need to. I always tell students to carry to 3 or 4 decimal places in your calculator just so you carry enough. Because most
Class is
questions.
over.
I'm sorry, what?
It's 1:15.
What time's class over? 1:15? Okay. Most of the time, your teachers or your test will tell you to put the answer to the 10th or to the 100th. Most of the time. So you at least want to carry 3 digits so you can cover those 2. So I tell, as a general rule, 3 or 4 digits. All right, I got to go because y'all have taken all my time. I do want to cover some problems, but you should be able to finish 6.1 by now because I've covered everything. Go ahead and read 6.2 and 6.3, and I will see y'all Friday, okay?
Okay.
Any questions? Okay, I'll see
I had
y'all
one.
Friday.
I had one.
Okay, what's your question?
That problem we just did with the decimal, how did